Hello everybody, Ness here. I wanted to share with everyone something that I did a few weeks ago. And I think it might be useful for people that are looking into the same thing that I was at the time, and that is a password manager that also comes with a password generator. So basically to have all your passwords stored in one place and you can use them whenever you need them. Now, before anything else, I would like to throw a quick disclaimer that I do not own, or I didn't come up with this code, the coding used in here. I was using, or rather resorting to the tutorials from two different people. One of them being RaxoCoding. The images and links are going to be somewhere in the description for sure. And he made the tutorial for the vault. The other tutorial that I followed was build a stronger password generator from codemy.com, which will also be the link would be in the description. And basically all that I did was just to integrate the password generator project into the password vault project. So that way you have both things within the same application. So I set up some comments on the different things that go into the code, like, and I think I should mention that I'm not a programmer. I if anything, I must have like at most like 50 hours at this point of learning Python, and it's mostly just to entertain myself, like picking up little projects like this one, just to suit some basic tasks or needs that might arise, like, you know, having stronger passwords for let's say your Steam account, Origin, use of Connect, so that sort of things. And so I apologize for the poor formatting. If you know, somebody that is a professional programmer and sees this and wants to get his own eyes out, I apologize. But I did my best trying to describe what each block corresponds to, in hopes that you know, it's more transparent for everybody. If again, I'm gonna provide the compiled version. I don't know if that's a proper term, but like the executable file, so you don't have to run the code if you don't know how to do that. And now I'm gonna show you basically how the how the application works. So in the beginning, you're gonna be received with the master password creation, which, if we go back to the top, okay, yeah, it's gonna be here. So the program or app, however you want to call it, it's gonna create this file, the password _vault.db for database, which, by the way, you can rename it to something less obvious. So I don't know, you know, PV or something like that, if you want to keep it discrete, or, you know, something entirely different, as long as you keep the .db in the name when you are editing this part. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too into detail in how everything works, because I was just following the tutorial. So if you're interested in knowing how each thing works and interacts with everything else, I strongly recommend that you go watch the tutorial, and you will get better answers than anything that I can give you, for sure. But yeah, going back to it. So we want to set up a master password, which is the one that you're going to be using to access the vault, right? So in this case, I'm just going to go with test, just for the sake of time. There you go. And it's going to throw this error, which I'm pretty sure most of you will know how to fix. I wasn't able to figure out how to fix it myself. And then again, I don't have much experience with this. But it seems to be that this happens because there's no stored information in the database as of yet. And that's why it creates this error. But it doesn't prevent the application from working as intended. So let's say you got your master password, so now you're ready to start storing your password. So you probably already have an account in some platform, and you're thinking on changing your password to something more secure. So we're gonna go to the password generator, and you're gonna select, or rather you're gonna type how many digits, or rather how many characters do you want your password to be. I would recommend between 12 and 15 maybe, just in case that you then need to type it yourself by hand, because remember that this doesn't have any online functionality. Everything is offline in your computer. So unless you're at home, or you have this program with the database file copied into another computer, you're not going to be able to access the stored passwords that you have. So keep that in mind, that this should be used at home, and probably for accounts that you consider too valuable to lose. Let's say maybe a Steam account where you have like 300 games and you don't want to lose that. So I would recommend storing your password here. So once you select how many characters you want, you get the generated password. You can select it and do Control-C, or you can just use the copy to clipboard option. And right here, we're just going to test that if I do Control-V, it pastes the password. So that way, once we're done with the password generator, we can just go to Store New, and we can select which platform it is. Let's go with the Steam. Then you're going to select your account. So let's go with test account. And here you're going to put your password, which we're just going to paste into it. Once you do that, you're going to see your new store password in there. And now in the tutorial, there were lacking some functionalities that I would like to have. For example, like, let's say your account, it's a bit tricky, let's say, or you don't really remember it, or you just want to save the trouble of typing it every time, right? So you have the option to copy the account right here. We can see that that's working. You can also, of course, copy the password, because if you're using random generated characters, it's going to be way more difficult to, recall all the characters, especially if you make it like 20 characters long. It's going to be a hell to try to remember all of that. So of course, there's a copy functionality. And this is due to the fact that you cannot select the text. Again, I was just following the tutorial. If the tutorial had this functionality, maybe there wouldn't be any need to add the buttons, but I don't think it hurts the project in any way. So, and of course you have the option to update. Let's say that you decided that this password is not that strong, or maybe you want a smaller password for whatever reason. So you just go to the generate password window, make a new one, and you do the same process, but this time you click in update, and you're prompted to type the new password, which we're just gonna paste. and okay, and that's gonna update the password for that account, and of course the option to delete. Now I didn't add a function to update the account because at that point might as well just start a new account, right? Let's say it's Steam again, but it's a test account 2, and then you just type, you know, the other password. Whoops. And then you can just update, you know, this account instead of modifying the other one, because very rarely I think you're gonna be deleting an account or replacing it with a new one. Then again, the whole purpose is to store all of your accounts here, so you don't have to keep track in your head or, you know, in any other password manager. Now you might be thinking, why didn't I just use one of the many software that are out there? Well, mostly because I'm a bit skeptical, and I think it's better to have like an offline system for these sort of things, especially when you know what's going on. Like, you can go into the code and look for yourself, you know, which thing is doing what at what given time, which parts of the program are involved in doing what it's doing. So there's nothing fishy going on, and you can rest assured that no harm is going to come to your computer or to your information. So that's basically the main purpose behind this. Okay, let's go just with the delete, just to make sure that works. I'm gonna make this the code available in GitHub for anybody that wants to add their own modifications, like maybe an update account, or, you know, make some of the changes. Some from the top of my head right now would be like, maybe you want to hide the first 5 or 10 characters and in your password, so just in case you have someone visiting and, you know, you have to access your password or something, you don't want them to see the whole thing, right? And you cannot ask them to leave the room until you finish. So that would be something that it could work in some cases for some people. That's pretty much it. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Yeah, well, and of course, for the people that don't know how to run the code or don't know how to use Python, PyCharm, and all the jibang, I'm just gonna make sure this the executable version available, like this one. I don't remember which module I used to turn this code into an executable file. But if you Google how to turn a script into an executable file, I'm pretty sure you will find all the help that you need. And this one behaves just the same. You can see that when you run it for the first time, it's going to create the database file. And we just follow the same procedure. This time we're going to go with password. And well, you just go at it again. Like, it doesn't change anything. The only difference is that you're not running these from the terminal. You are just running the executable that you might have in your computer, stored it somewhere safe. Of course, you don't want it in your desktop. But yeah, it behaves exactly the same, with the benefit of just being one program that you just run whenever you need it, and everything should work just the same. Let's just go with a little test. And there you go. But yeah, Now, in terms of resetting your master password, there is no functionality for that. So that's something that could be worked on in the future. So I strongly recommend that you go with a strong password from the start. Something that you can recall, that it's not too simple. Then again, you're going to be running this on your computer. It doesn't interact with any website or online software whatsoever, so it doesn't have to be super safe. Just don't make it too simple so that anybody that has access to your computer when you're not around can get into your password vault. If you want to reset everything, or let's say you want to have a new master password, the only way that you can do that would be just deleting the database file, and basically you're just starting over. But of course, if you don't want to lose the passwords and accounts that you have stored, you might as well just copy the accounts into a text file temporarily, so that, let's say that I did that here, and then I close these, I delete the file, and then I run the program again, and it's gonna prompt me to enter the master password again. So you just go with a different password. Let's go test 1. And this is another cool thing, like if you enter the wrong password the next time, you're gonna get the prompt that they do not match. So that's a little nice things that the guy were including in the tutorials. But yeah, and at this point you basically store the accounts again. Oh, that should have gone there. So yeah, this is a bit tedious, but given that you already go with a strong password and then you decide it's it's good, you can just forget about it and keep managing your passwords without worrying about anything. And yeah, again, if you want to have access to your passwords and accounts in a different computer, you're gonna have to move both files or the folder to that computer, so that way you can still access all your information. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Please leave any comments if there is something that I left unaddressed. And again, all the credit goes to the guys that made the tutorials that I followed. Everything that I did, I just merely merged their code into this single project, so you can have both things plus some functionalities like the copy the account and copy the password, and the update functionalities that I added from other tutorials that I saw online. So yeah, I hope this is useful for some people out there that were looking for something similar. I was looking for something like this, and I didn't find something that had everything that I wanted for it to have. So I basically Frankenstein my way into it, and I've been using it for all my accounts, like Steam account, Origin account, Ubisoft, all the main game platforms, because that's something that I'm mostly going to be using on my PC. Again, I don't recommend, let's say, adding this or making use of this for your email account, because you're probably gonna need to access your email somewhere else, And if you don't have access to your password and it's too complicated, you're probably not gonna remember it. And there's no way for you to access it unless you go back home, write it down, or someone texts it to you, or you keep a copy in your phone somehow. But yeah, just be wary of that. Try to limit it to things that you know that you're only gonna be accessing through from your home PC, and that you don't need to carry the password with you somewhere else. But yeah, guys, this is it. I hope again this is helpful for a lot of you guys that are maybe looking for this, something like this. And yeah, just leave me any comments, any questions, and if I don't know how to answer you, I'll probably point you in the right direction so you can ask people with more experience than myself. Yeah, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.